Hey, it's Sierra. This is what I did for the Excel for our graphing lab sheets. I went ahead and typed out the data for the first graph, for the pennies graph. I'm not really sure if we're supposed to do a graph for the second graph. We're supposed the Boyle's Law graph, but I went ahead and did both. So once you watch this and you do this for the first one, you can just change this and just put in the different data for the next graph. So the first thing that you want to do after you type in your information is just highlight the numbers. Just go ahead and take your left clicker, hold down here, and then just drag to where you have it gathered there. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you go to insert, and you probably already know how to do this, but you were wanting to do the scatter plot. My thing is I can't see anything, so I make it as big as I want it to be. And so your independent variable is the year and your dependent variable is the mass, and the reason being is that when you change the year, the mass changes, whereas vice versa, if you changed a mass number, it's not necessarily going to change the year when you're gathering data. The year is what makes the difference in the mass change. So independent variable is supposed to be on the x-axis according to our lab packets, and it is, and the mass is on the y-axis. So we want to change our title. You can just double click up here and name it whatever you want to name it. See, I can name it Cece's Pennies. And then we want to add titles to our axes, so I'm going to do this one here, and once again you just go to add chart element in the left hand corner under your design of chart tools, and you do your axis titles primary horizontal, and if you can't see now I took it away, I have to click on it again. Then you just double click in there, and I just put years because I'm simple like that. And then you go back and you want to add your vertical title, which is, what did I name it before? Mass G. I just went ahead and put the grams just so that she knows that I know that that's what's supposed to be. So once you've got this is pretty much it. I mean, since we're printing it off, you could change the colors of it. You can make it really as pretty as you wanted it to be and change what it looks like, but since you have to print it off, I would just stick with the basic one so it looks good. As far as the line, she asked you to go ahead and hand draw the line even when you do the one on Excel. So getting ready to print, you want to take this and you can just cover up that data so that when we do print preview, it looks, you can just cover it up. You can include it, but I found it makes it harder because, like, for instance, if I do it like this and I go to File, Print, Preview, make sure it's in landscape orientation, because if you put it in portrait, it's going to cut off some of your graph sometimes, so put it in landscape orientation. And so that's how it would look, because this is how I did it. I just printed it off like this, but you can also go back and you can make your graph smaller and move it over like so, and when you file print, it will show the data that you put in. But for me personally, I don't think Miss Beverly cares about the data. She gave us the data, so I just took this and enlarged it so that it simply just covered the data that I had just typed in. And then you can just print it, make sure it's a landscape, and print it like this. And then do the same thing for the next one. Just take this, click it, the entire thing where this is popping up, and then you can just hit delete on your keyboard and it'll make it go away. And then you can just start typing in for pressure and then your volume. And if you're not familiar with Excel, and you type it in and then it seems to overlap this grid line or you can't see anything, just take this, just hover over this line, and when you see this little arrows with the block in between, just double click and it'll go ahead and do that, and then you can highlight your data and delete it and then start typing in the other data for the next one. If you have any questions, you can call me, but I think that pretty much is what she wants to do. And like I said, just when you print it off, then you draw your line through your thing, and just to have an idea of the scatter plot of how it's moving up and down throughout the years, or pressure versus volume. All right, thank you.